is. Faith is not a blind belief. It is the strength found in our shared community and the convictions that shape our nation.
Welcome to Faith in America, exploring political and patriotic themes for a stronger nation.
All right. Welcome to today, and hopefully the sound can be a little better today. I've been working on it all morning. Do me a favor, hit that like button so that more people see this after the live broadcast, and we really appreciate it. We had quite a few people watch it on demand yesterday, not a whole lot live, but that's okay. We're going and growing, and we're going to see how this goes. You can catch us on all the streaming platforms. If you look at the ticker down there too, you can find us on Facebook.com, FIA Facebook. That's where you find all the previous podcasts. They weren't live, they were taped. But now we're live. And let's see what I got on the news today. First, let me punch this button here. And here we go. Abigail Spanberger. There she goes. She was at a fiddling convention in Virginia where she is the governor, and they basically booed her out of the arena. So things not going well for the Democratic governor in Virginia. And we're going to take that out right there. We're going to take out this right here. And then we're going to go here. We have progressive Peggy Flanagan, who announced this morning, today, that she wants to
for the United States Senate because I want people to be able to afford the lives they want to live. And that's why I support Medicare for all. That's why I support universal child care. And it is why I support ripping ICE apart and holding them accountable.
Yeah, she's not gonna make it
That's right.
past the election in November. I think a lot of them are, Of course, we got to have our daily dose of AOC. Seems now. Let me make that. Let me hit this right here. And hit this right here. And then let me make this a little bit bigger for you. Bishop Roberts said, along with many others, I was appalled by Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez giggling dismissal of woke one is crazy. In case you've forgotten, she was one of the most passionate advocates of defunding the police, tearing down statues of American heroes, establishing racial quotas, and dividing the country between oppressors and the oppressed. And it continues. Let me make this a little bit bigger for you so you can see it. I quite agree that these policy recommendation policies were crazy, but she has to own up to endorsing them. More to the point, woke one was not only misguided, it was cruel. One of the bitterest fruits of wokeism was the cancer culture that resulted in armies of people losing jobs, reputation, careers, because they didn't correspond to the reigning orthodoxy. And Oops. There we go. Now I'm back. I'm still trying to figure out how to use this Rumble Studio and bring you all the stuff that I need to bring you. But we all know ALC is trying to be more moderate while still being a democratic socialist. But she herself admitted that she was a member of the Democratic Socialist Party in New York, not the National Party. So she's trying to distance herself from some of the more radical proposals of the Democratic Socialists of America, calling for the abolishment of the presidency, the Senate, and the Supreme Court. I think she's going to try to get more and more moderate, depending on how the winds blow, closer to her announcement that she's going to run for president in 2028. But I've got one here that I think, might be another contender. Here is Hunter Biden on the Tucker Carlson show. Let's take a listen to that, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
I haven't seen you in 11 years, though I've talked about you. Hunter Biden.
I love Candace.
I do too.
Yeah. I like Thomas Massey and Marjorie Taylor Greene. I like that there are people that have kind of woken up.
I have really only one question, one thing that has bothered me. So I just want to ask you point blank, did you drop off laptops?
No. The answer is no. I say to everybody, okay, show me your phone. Because I showed you mine, and you didn't find a goddamn thing.
We get approached by Israelis connected to Benjamin Netanyahu who are shopping this stuff to me at Fox News. The way that it entered the bloodstream
exactly
of the American media was not real.
I don't have any more secrets.
Yeah, well. Hunter Biden's got all kinds of secret. He's the cocaine king, of course, who says he's now broke. But I believe he'd like to try to make a presidential run in 2028 or 2032, trading off his dad's name, which, well, right now a lot of people don't think very highly of him. Joe Biden, there was a big controversy concerning his mental capabilities in the last half of his administration. But he's making the rounds. Candace Owen, Tucker Carlson, Marjorie Taylor Greene. A lot of these are rhinos. They're fake conservatives. He's trying to get on that little bandwagon there. And I really don't think it's going to work. But, hey, I'm not against the guy trying. You know what I mean? There's a lot of dirty laundry there. But we'll see how that goes for 2028. I expect Andrea Ocasio-Cortez will announce she's going to run, possibly Kamala Harris, and possibly Hunter Biden, which that'd be a long shot. I think all three of them would be long shots. There's another controversy brewing today, and that is the Trump plane. Let me get you a little post on that, and let me make it bigger so you can see it. I'll move this over here, and this over here. It seems that there was a clandestine mission, which had not been reported previously, that was carried out unbeknownst to journalists and some White House staff members who believed they were on the same plane as the president. According to material reviewed by the Post, and we all know how they are, a U.S. official familiar with the operation of personal knowledge of the president's travel, these people spoke on the condition of anonymity and amenity and were not authorized to talk on the subject. Now, here was the problem. The plane was in Turkey, Air Force One. Journalists board that plane. They don't have to. They can find other transportation, but they wanted to travel with the president. There was a credible threat on the president's life. So, what they did is sneak them off the plane into another plane, and he traveled to England with Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, and left White House staffers and the press on Air Force One, which had become the decoy plane. And the media is up in arms because Trump was snuck off the plane and nobody told them. And no one told the staffers. They were told to pull down their shades. And they're upset and trying to make it all about them. Here's the thing. They don't have to ride on the president's plane. They can arrange other transportation. Staff members, most of them want to be on the plane because they want proximity to the president. But the final thing is, the Secret Service and the military do not have to tell everybody what they're doing to protect the president. Especially when it means taking the president off one plane and putting him on another plane. He doesn't have a choice. The Secret Service and the military are going to make him do it. I'm not going to let anybody know about it. Why? Because the press talks a lot. And as I always say, those talk a lot, sin a lot. So you don't let people know what you're doing to protect the president while there's a credible threat until after it's all over with. This is not about the media. There have been threats on Trump's life, several. And come on, guys. This was a covert operation to protect the president. Now, Air Force One, even though the president was on board, had a military escort. It's got all kinds of security apparatus on it we're not privy to. So it's not like they were in total danger. They were still being protected. But what was being protected more was the president. And that's what it's all about. And, of course, Trump has said today he can't run for a third term. So Democrats can quit talking about that. Another thing kind of connected to this, I'm going to show you Mamdani, the mayor of New York, has asked the New York police and her security detail to join her when she travels to visit family in Syria and Lebanon. And let's take a look at that. And this here, we'll make it bigger. Upon a strong recommendation of the NYPD.
Meantime, the NYPD says it will not send security with Mayor Mamdani's wife when she visits Syria and Lebanon next month. And the mayor now blaming his staff for the mixed messaging. Nate Foy joins us now with the details. Nate, what happened?
Hey, Griff. So, yeah, the Big Apple.
All right, here is Mamdani. His wife is traveling to two countries that basically United States Department of State says don't travel to. They're in the middle of a war zone, don't travel to, don't go. But she's going, and she wanted NYPD to provide her security while she's over there. And they flat out said no. So I have two questions. One, why is she traveling to two countries that are in the middle of a war zone? Going to go visit family. But why now? And two, NYPD, the New York Police Department, they guard New York. They don't go to live in Syria. They guard New York. If she wanted protection, she'd have to call the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, and request a detail be sent with her. Of course, that's going to be denied because they don't want Americans going to two countries who are basically part of a war. So, I mean, Mamdani is trying a lot of different things. None of it's working. None of it's going to work. He'll probably go down as the worst mayor in New York history. But we got to see it through. We got to see what happens, see how things roll. All right? Got another one here for you. Hassan Piker. Yeah, that's a name we all like hearing, Hassan Piker. And he has warned us that
Be less difficult.
the taking off the
It'll
glove.
be easier to deliver our message. It'll be more difficult though because the establishment will not underestimate us. They will continue to undermine us, but they will not underestimate us. So the knives will be out.
Hassan Piker saying the knives will be out. They're taking on the establishment Democrats, and the Democratic Socialists are out for blood. And well, we're going to say so far the Democratic Socialists aren't doing a really big win. They've had some wins and some losses, but the radical agenda, I don't see them getting past their Republican opponents in the general election because, well, it's just not going to happen. Republicans are going to coalesce, more or less, closer to the midterms, and we're going to see what we can get done. All right, hit that like button. Thank you. Here's another thing I want to show you. An interesting podcast here on Rumble, and that is Todd Spears, The Last Word. Now, you know Todd Spears from watching him on the Graham Allen Show, and he used to have the hot seat. But now he has the last word. I don't know the man. I've never met him. But I listened to his podcast, and if you get a chance, go to rumble.com and search Todd Spears, click on the hot seat, and watch his messages, his sermons. The great words of the Lord, they're great messages, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. And I'm sure Todd would appreciate having you come on. Now, let's get some other news. Here in Lafayette, Tennessee, where I live, the hanging tree got knocked over by the wind. Now, a lot of people say, well, that's a good thing because it represents a dark part of Lafayette's history. But here's my take on it. You cannot change history just because you don't like it. History is history. The tree who's been there for years, probably hundreds of years, old men whittled underneath it, old men told tall tales underneath it. But it was a hanging tree back way long before I ever got to Lafayette. And it's sad that part of the history is gone now. Fell over, they had to cut it up, leave it, fix it. But I don't think, as Americans, even though some things bother us, some things offend us, some things we disagree with, we cannot change history to support our narrative. History is history. In fact, it's said that if we forget the past, we're condemned to repeat it. Slavery, lynchings, what we did to the Indians, what we did to the Asians during World War II. It's unfortunate, but it's history. And we need to remember, because we don't need to make the same mistakes twice. It was bad enough we made them once. Also here in Tennessee, there's a big movement. Schools in Tennessee are saying no flags can be flown in the classrooms except the American flag and Tennessee state flag. No pride flags. Many Tennessee schools are also voting to put the 10 Commandments back in the classroom. Let me tell you why that's a good idea. Why we should do it nationwide. We took the 10 Commandments out of the classrooms. Part of the 10 Commandments says, "Thou shalt not kill." We took it out, and school shootings started. When I was going to school, we never thought about shooting up the school. And that's back when everybody had a rifle in the gun rack in the parking lot. Because we valued human life. We appreciated our school, and we gave it reverence most of the time. We respected authority. There were no police in the schools. It was teachers, administrators, and us students. I'll have to admit, there's been bomb scares that got me out of a quiz or pop quiz that I didn't want to take. But nothing as serious as a school shooting. And why? Because we were taught, "Thou shalt not kill." Very simple. Put it back in the classrooms. Teach "Thou shalt not kill." Teach respect for life. Teach respect for authority. Hold people accountable. On that same note, yesterday, a governor signed a bill allowing abortions up to the moment of birth. So if you're scheduled to deliver on a Thursday, you're going to do labor, going to do a C-section, whatever. You're due to deliver on Thursday. Wednesday, you can decide, well, I don't want it, baby. I can't do this. I'm out of here. And get yourself an abortion. Here's the thing. Let's take a biblical view of this. The Bible says, Jesus speaks about, "I knew you from your mother's womb." I mean, as soon as we're conceived, the Lord knows us. And the Lord has a plan for us. It is not up to us to interfere in that plan. Another thing I'm going to say about the abortion issue. It takes two to tango. Woman and a man. Both have a right and accessibility to birth control. But if the woman gets pregnant and she decides she wants to abort that pregnancy, my question is, what about the father? Doesn't he have a choice? I mean, it's her body, but it's his kid. Think about it. We formed the debate against abortion solely based on what the woman wants. Not recognizing she took steps to prevent it. And we forget all about that there's a father to that child. We forget that from the point of conception, God knows that child's name and has a purpose for that child. And we have no right to interfere in that plan. If you're a Christian and you believe in abortion, me, cases of rape or incest, I think that's kind of okay. I'll be 50-50 on it. But any abortion from the point of conception to the point of birth, especially right before birth, is not Christian. It's not biblical. It's not what the Lord wants. A human being, a child, is a gift from God, known by God. And God has plans. So that child has every right to be born. It has every right to the opportunities presented to it. And it has the right to grow and prosper and be a part of the American dream. Finally, today, the Gonna cut it a little short today. Inflation is down despite high gas prices, which is not Trump's fault. The oil companies are gouging us. And they're doing so because no one can stop them. I think Trump and the Federal Trade Commission really need to take a look at this because gas prices are unusually high, and we got plenty of oil, and we got plenty of gas. So inflation numbers are down, unemployment's down, crime's down. The oil companies want to keep prices high, probably because they don't like Trump. I don't know why they don't like Trump. He tells them to drill, baby drill. But what they don't like is anybody messing with their billion-dollar profits. There's big money in oil, and they want to make sure that they make big money in oil. So I think it's something the president's going to have to address. I think it's something the American people need to speak out against. Not against Trump, not against the war in Iran, but against the oil companies and the thirst for profits. Mentioning Iran, I'm a big Trump supporter. I'm MAGA. I'm conservative Christian. I'm an evangelical Christian, conservative Republican. But if I was president, which good thing I'm not, I would have decimated Iran months ago. But Trump keeps trying to negotiate. He has more patience than I have. Of course, if he drops bombs on Iran, the less screams about it. If he tries to negotiate peace, the less scream about it. They have to decide which argument they're going to pursue and stick with that argument. Okay? This is the problem with the left. They try to play both sides of an argument. You can't do that. You got to pick a stand and stand on it. I think that's what the Republicans are doing, and I think they're doing a good job of it. I'm excited for the midterms. Hey, 10, 10, and 10. Send 10 emails, make 10 phone calls, and make 10 posts. Republicans, we really need turnout in the midterms. Historically, the party in power loses the House and sometimes the Senate. We don't need to lose the House. We don't need to lose the Senate. There's a couple of senators I like to see go. John Thune, who this week just came to my mind. The Senate was going to go on vacation, but they decided rather than go on vacation, they were going to have pro forma sessions. Means on certain days of the week, they're going to gavel in, and then after they gavel in, they're going to go home. You may wonder why John Thune and others in the Senate are agreeing to this. Real simple. If they never go on recess, Trump cannot make recess appointments. There's still a lot of people to confirm. There's still a lot of people Trump needs on his staff. So by having these pro forma sessions instead of a total relay, going on vacation, Trump cannot make a recess appointment. He has to wait for Congress to get the job done. And it's time for Congress to get the job done. As Republicans, we need to make sure we're getting out there for the midterms. We're holding our candidates accountable. We're trying to elect men and women of faith. We're trying to elect men and women that will serve according to the Word of God. People who have conservative values. That's what we want in office come November. We do not need DSA, anti-American socialists. We don't need far left. We need to stay the course all the way to 2028. That's all I got for today. It was good being with you. It was good talking with you. And we'll be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock. All right?
Faith is not a blind belief. It is the strength found in our shared community and the convictions that shape our nation.
Welcome to Faith in America, exploring political and patriotic themes for a stronger nation.